welcome back to the channel. This is another tire review, this time on the Dunlop Trailmax Mission, which is a brand new tire that Dunlop just brought out. This has a tread design for the rear that I like. It has, looks like it's going to have some decent road handling, but it also has a deep tread and these crossbars, which I'm really excited about. Being able to do some decent off-roading, nothing extreme, but forest roads, things like that, it should be okay. And the front tire has an interesting design to it as well, with these triangular shapes that you see in here that I'll get a closer look once I actually get it mounted on the bike. One of the things I like about this tire over some of the other tires that I've seen that aren't full knobbies is that it has some cuts in it so that you have some side knobs to keep the front tire from washing out. One of the issues that I have on non-knobby tires is front tire wash. So I try to find something that has side lugs to grab into loose, gravelly, sandy type terrain. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these perform. So this is before they go on the bike, and if you continue watching the review, you'll see how they go thousands of miles into the review. So stick around and we'll see how it turns out. All right, I have 4,000 miles on the Dunlop Trailmax Missions, and I thought this would be a good time to talk about it. I was going to do a full life review of them, but they are lasting a really long time, so I'm not sure that I will even get through the rear tire until the end of summer. But I think it's worth talking about now and getting this information out to anyone who's interested in these tires. So with the 4,000 miles on the front tire, they still have their round profile. It really doesn't look like they have much wear on them at all. I have no idea how long these are going to go, but I can definitely see 10,000 plus miles. The tread design is a little unusual compared to other tread designs of tires. I think I like this because it has a bit of a feel of a knobby without being like a full road tire, but still performs like a road tire. It is not loud. The problem I have with knobbies is as you wear them down, they get louder and louder. And I don't know what Dunlop did with the design here, but with the way the sound comes off of it, they've done something to keep that from getting all of that road noise that you're used to from knobbies. Off-road, I haven't done a lot of miles off-road, only a couple hundred. It hasn't been anything aggressive, just easy gravel, fire road type stuff. I will say in gravel, it doesn't feel like a knobby. It tends to, you can feel it kind of hunt around just a little bit, nothing unnerving, but you know that you're not on a full knob. A full knob, when I ride those, I feel like it's more planted, and that I don't really notice the difference between being on-road and off-road when it's on fire roads and hard pack. This, with a little bit of gravel, I do feel a little bit of wandering. Nothing, not a big deal, but just something I do feel. I've been in a little bit deeper gravel, and the tire is fine. It gets through it. I haven't had any issues with it. Now, if I was going to go do a more aggressive trail, if I was thinking about doing white rim like I did last fall, I wouldn't take a tire like this. I would still go with a full knobby. But I knew at the beginning of this year that I was going to be doing a lot of road miles with just a little bit of dirt miles. I wanted something that was going to last a long time and be able to perform good in both conditions, and that's what this tire has done. I really like the way that this tire's handled on-road and off-road. I gave this tire 200 to 300 miles of break-in before I started riding normally for me. I don't ride hard, but before I started leaning into corners a little bit more aggressively. And I can say that from a road handling standpoint, I've had no issues with it, no slippage. I've ridden in snowy weather, I've ridden on wet roads and rain with no problems at all. But with that, keep this in mind, is that my bike has traction control, and I always leave that on when I'm on wet roads, and I haven't had any problems with it. Overall, at least from a front tire standpoint, I feel like I'm getting more of a knobby profile that still performs well on the road. There is enough gaps in here that rocks and gravel can fit in here and track where I want it to, which I like. And then there's enough blocks, and the surface of the blocks are pretty big, that you get a big contact patch on the road, and it corners well, handles well. I haven't experienced any issues, and in my opinion, when it comes to tires, if I don't really notice them, then they're doing their job. Now, if you look at the profile that I showed, you're still going to see some little knobs here, so you can tell that I don't ride hard. I'm not cornering it to the extremes. It's just the way I ride. But as far as being able to do everything I need it to do, this has been a really fantastic tire. So let's switch over to the back and we'll take a look at it. All right, like I mentioned before on the front tire, I have 4,000 miles on these tires, and the wear of these have been absolutely remarkable. I will show you a profile of it and you can see how much tread depth is still left on this tire. I wasn't sure what to expect on how it would handle dirt roads, off-road type of stuff, because there is big blocks, but the gaps between the blocks are nearly finger width, and it seems to grab pretty well. Now, if I want to break the tire loose in dirt and gravel, I can, but it will eventually hook up. But as far as getting a tire that is capable on fire roads, off-road, and still getting some good mileage on it on the road, I haven't been able to find a tire that is this capable. I think this might be one of my favorite tires, or my favorite tire that I've ran. I mentioned this before when I was talking about the front tire. If I was gonna go do a trail like White Rim like I did in the fall, I would not run a tire like this. I would want a full knob. This, I can still feel the back the same as the front. Hunt or wander around just a little bit in the gravel, knowing that it's not penetrating all the way in, but it's not unnerving. You just know that the bike's gonna move just a little bit, and it's not jumping around, but just a little bit of a wandering. Not a big deal, but I did notice that on gravel roads. Deep sand, I think eventually this tire would get overwhelmed a little bit. I've only ridden in a little bit of sand and a little bit of gravel, and it was fine, but I wouldn't want to be doing long stretches of that where you're really pushing a tire to its limits and it's needing to dig and get through that. But overall, if you're looking for a tire for just fire roads, and you're doing trips like I do where you're going to spend 2 to 3 days on tarmac, on asphalt, to get where you want to ride, to do 100 miles or more of dirt road riding, nothing too aggressive, then this is a fantastic choice because of the wear of it. I have 4,000 on the rear. I'm not sure how many more. I think I can go probably another at least 2,000 miles before I'm even going to consider changing it. And at the rate that it's wearing, it might even go longer than that. I've been really pleased with the way this wears. And on dirt roads, it is really, really good. Dunlop Trailmax Mission. It's turning out to be a better tire than what I was expecting. And the tread design is a little bit different than what you see from other tires, and I think Dunlop put a lot of research into how to design a tire that would work for these big bikes and be functional off-road and on-road, and I think they've done a really good job. I like this tire, and I would recommend it for everything except for really aggressive off-road riding. If you're going to be doing that, this isn't the tire for that. Go to a full knob. But for everything else, I don't see how you can go wrong with this tire. I hope you found this tire review to be useful and helpful. If you have any questions about the tire, maybe something I didn't cover, just leave it down below in the comment section and I will respond to you. One last quick note, I run about 34 psi in the front tire and 42 in the rear, just to give you an idea. And also, those 4,000 miles that I've put on this have been fully loaded. Those have been on trips. I don't do a lot of just riding around town or just day rides. I do a few here and there, but most of the miles on this has been fully loaded, geared up, going somewhere. So there's been full load on this tire and it is still worn really, really well. So I hope you found this useful and you get out and ride. So thanks for watching, and I will see you out there.